checklist that I put on your desk and bring them to the rug. No pens or pencils. Okay, I count down from 10, so let's hurry.
Oh, and on the remote, change the input so it's click input on it so it's on HDMI 2. In the top corner. Here, bring it to me and I'll do it. Oh, there you go. And then click to the right.
There we go.
Technology.
And sit next.
Stylus if you have a stylus.
You can. Yes. Sit next to your writing partners, please. Make sure you're next to your writing partners. You have your iPad. You have your pen.
Sorry, Miss K, the only stylus I have is a pen.
That's fine. Okay, is everybody sitting next to their writing partner?
Maybe so. The keyboard part's not
All right, class.
It's 9:20.
Class.
On here because my partner is on.
We are going to be learning about our final step of writing before we start before we're ready to publish our work that we've been working on for weeks now. I'm sure everybody has heard of a self-help book, right? I love self-help books because you can learn so many things from them. There was a long period of time where I would only read self-help books. For example, I read a picture of a few of my favorite ones. The Baby Signing Bible. I learned so many sign language moves that I can do to my baby so that we can communicate because she can't talk because she's so little. Self-help books can teach you everything you could possibly want to learn. So I'm giving you writing checklists today because they're your self-help book or self-help page that can help you edit your writing better. You guys have been working on so many different aspects of your writing throughout this narrative storytelling. And I've seen you guys apply them every single day as you learn to use dialogue in your stories and improve your leads and improve the ending. And today, every single time I read your stories, especially the ones that I read often, it's drastically improved as you apply the things that you learn each day. So today we're going to be learning how to use the checklist, the editing checklist. So, what we're going to do is look at our editing checklist, and we're going to, so there's 8 items on the checklist, correct? We're going to read each item and then reread our story as though we're reading the story through that lens. Only that lens. For example, let's follow along as we read this story. This was from a former classmate who was writing their personal narrative, and then they use their editing checklist, and we'll see what happens. So let's look at the first item on our checklist. It says, I have checked that this makes sense and that there are no words or missing parts. So we have to pretend like we don't know anything about the writer, we don't know anything about their story. We're just pretending like we're reading this story as if we know nothing. Even though you wrote your own story and you do know what happened. You're pretending like you're just a reader. You're just a reader reading your story. So, where's your sister? Follow along as I read. Right here. Ring, ring. I ran out of polished school. That doesn't make sense to me. Polished school? I don't know. I saw my friend Paulina. Hi, Paulina. I said, hi. I ran to her dad's car. I jumped inside. Why would she run? This is a bit confusing. She jumped inside.
It's
I
an
think-
expression.
I think, for what?
Like she went inside.
Oh, you're saying she was using descriptive language to say how she got in the car. Yeah, that's true, probably. But right here, I think she's... Remember how we kept talking about writing step by step for our personal narratives? I think she's getting a little too detailed in her step by step that it's hard to look at what's actually happening in the bigger picture. So she revised after using her lens of not knowing anything about this story. She reread her story and she wrote this. Ring, ring, the bell rang, telling us we could leave the Saturday Polish School, which is, that didn't make sense because we didn't know that was the name of the school. So I ran out to the street to find Paulina's dad because he drives me home. I got in the car and noticed Paulina's sister wasn't there. She was always there. So now does that make more sense? After rereading it, she revised it to make sure that it makes sense to somebody who has no idea what this story is about. It's hard to understand the big picture of a story if we're writing really, really, really detailed bits, which we have been trying to do because we want our stories to be descriptive and be interesting, right? So I would like for you guys to use these as your own self-help books, your own self-help checklist, as you're editing your writing today. Today you're editors. So you should be sitting next to your writing partner. Give your writing partner a high five. Okay, great. I would like you guys to turn your iPads on to open up the document of your story that you've been working on. And we're going to switch after about a minute and a half. But both of you guys, I want partner 1 and partner 2 to be reading partner 1's story together. And noticing anything that might not make sense, anything. And then I will let you know when to switch. Use your lens. What do you notice?
I think it's kind of like I think it's kind of
Great
like
job.
case.
That's something great to notice. That's perfect. Exactly reading through your lens, right? So that's something that you'll go back and fix.
Is that actually what happened though?
But I still want to do it.
I think
Anything you might want to fix?
Last time when we were doing it, I had no paragraphs, so I told her to start adding
So what about your guys? Okay, partners, let's switch. Wait, so who read whose? Now we're switching. Right, and then told you about the paragraphs? Awesome.
She told me that I should start revising like this.
Like grammatical errors? Okay, that's awesome.
Let's go to the gym. The open
job on this. One more minute, you guys. We're working on only the first editing checklist item. What did you just notice, Maddie? Okay, great. So past tense. Stop, you guys. One more time, Ray. I'm so sorry. Thank you. All right, class. 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 All right. That was some great job using the first lens of our editing checklist. I saw so many good corrections that you guys helped each other with. I saw Grace notice that as you and your partner reread something, you wrote the same sentence twice, that you just needed to delete one of them. I heard Ray helping his partner include paragraphs and separating some of the ideas out in her writing. I heard Maddie do a really great, she noticed something, which was that he had written the tenses of his words wrong. So instead of saying fell, the kid fell, he had written fall, which was just a very small thing, but it's great to have another set of eyes to help you notice those little things. So each time we go through an item on our checklist, we are going to just specifically be using the lens that we're looking through for what we're looking for. So for the second item on our checklist is all of my sentences are complete and I have checked for run-on fragments. That's where you're going to look for more grammatical stuff, the way Maddie had already noticed. So the first time we were just looking to make sure that it made sense. And in Grace's example, where there was 2 sentences and you deleted one, that was a perfect way to use this lens. So each time we're going to read the story 8 times. You're going to read your own story 8 times. And each time it's going to be through a different lens on the checklist. And as you go through and you finish them, you can check them off. So I hope that you guys can use these checklists as your self-help list today. So give me a thumbs up if you understand how to use your editing checklist. Thumbs up. All right. Writers, let's use our editing checklist and be editors. Off you go.
Okay.